Welcome to Hannity. Tonight we have a jam-packed show for you. Senator Rand Paul, Bob Beckel, Andrea Tantaros, they'll all be here tonight. Plus, we have the exclusive details about an investigation conducted by Peter Schweitzer, which reveals President Obama, let me repeat, never had a one-on-one interview with disgraced Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius for over 3.5 years leading up to the launch of this Obamacare disaster. And now Peter's going to join us with that explosive story later today. But first, our top story tonight, there were several important House hearings today on Capitol Hill, all focusing on the president's disastrous health care law. Let not your heart be troubled. We know you probably couldn't catch up on all the hours and hours of testimony, so we put together the highlights for you.
Individuals are losing coverage that they are happy with and the doctors with which they are comfortable. And this is a tragedy.
Looking forward, the flaws in the law itself may prove to be getting worse, not better.
Just yesterday, I logged in to the D.C. exchange where members of Congress must go and got an error.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
This is people's lives. People hurt when they can't get medical care.
I believe the premise for today's hearing is fundamentally flawed.
People's health care is compromised when they can't get medical care.
Everybody's going to get less coverage and higher costs.
This is serious stuff.
If you can take the name of Obama out of Obamacare and just focus on the benefits, you find the benefits are widely popular.
A bill that was rushed through Congress without any serious debate is now directly impacting people's lives.
So, Mr. President, here we are. We've got a better idea. So give me a call.
Now, that's not all that happened today. We also have cold, hard proof that Senator Harry Reid is indeed the hypocrite we all thought he was. According to a report, the Senate Majority Leader is exempting his staff from having to buy health care through the federal exchanges. But listen what he said back in September about this very issue.
So let's stop these really juvenile political games. The one dealing with health care for senators and House members and our staff. We are going to be part of exchanges. That's what the law says, and we'll be part of that.
Oh, not really. Joining me now with reaction to all the events of today, California Congressman Devin Nunes and Tennessee Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn. Guys, good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks, Sean.
Congresswoman, we'll begin with you. Now, wait a minute. I know that the Speaker, Speaker Boehner, his staff is not, they're all going to the exchange, and the same with even Nancy Pelosi and Senator Mitch McConnell. So, is his staff getting an exemption or not?
Well, one would think that his staff staying with the federal health benefit program is an exemption. But, Sean, this is something that this administration has tried to do, and the Democrats have done for their friends. 1,700 waivers, 22 delays. They've missed over half their legal deadlines. I guess you could say for them, it is kind of business as usual as far as the implementation goes.
Yeah, you would think so. Congressman, your reaction to that? It seems to me that this law is so good that, of course, they'd want their staff getting the same plan as the American people are stuck with now, right?
Well, it's outrageous, Sean, and I think even more troubling is that many of our staff now in Washington, if you live out in the district, from our districts, they're having problems and they're being rejected from the exchange. So the staff that are going on the exchange the right way, like the law says, they can't even get on, and now you have Reid, who's exempted his own staff.
All right, let's go to some of these poll numbers, because I think they're very telling, because I don't really know. The president said yesterday, as long as he's president, this law is never going to be repealed. Made that promise yesterday. But if you look at, for example, his average approval rating, an accumulation of all the polls that have come out, many that have him in the 30s, the Real Clear Politics average, he's at 40%. A lot of polls now have him in the 30s. If you look at, for example, one group, the millennial group, that they were asked if they approve or disapprove of Obamacare, 57% disapprove. And then if you look at, they were asked if they believe that things are going to worsen under Obamacare. Look at this. And they want him out of office. 40%, want him out of office. So you look at all these cumulatively, the country is obviously picked up on, Congresswoman, how this law is impacting everybody. So why won't we hit the reset button? Why can't anybody in Washington why doesn't anybody want to do that?
We keep trying. We in the House continually go to the floor and vote to repeal and to replace the different components of this. And Sean, you know, they get so upset. They'll say, well, you've had 40 votes, you've had 50 votes to do that. But it's what the American people want. It's what our constituents want. And what we hear from coast to coast is the law doesn't work. It is too expensive to afford. It is decreasing access. It is increasing cost. And people don't want any part of it. They want to be able to make their own health care decisions. And this is limiting their ability to do so. They don't want government making those choices for them. And that's exactly what's happening. People don't like it.
All right, let's go, Congressman, to the hearings today. We learned, among many other things, that the website fix, and we're going to have our experts on next, the website fix actually made security for those people that go on it worse. Help me out. Is that really what happened?
Well, there's no possible way with all of these changes that they've done just in a matter of 30 days that they've managed to make this secure. I mean, most of our government services are not secure. So how did they do this within 30 days? It's impossible. And let me tell you about a poll that's really important, Sean. Just yesterday, I found out that one company in my district, 3,000 people just lost their health care. Come January 1st, they will not have health care. And it's not just those 3,000. It's also 3,500 of their dependents. So one company, 6,500 people now without health care in my district. That's a poll that really matters.
Yeah, that is a poll that matters because these are real people, real lives, real rate increases, real cancellation letters. Congresswoman, we go back to the Federal Register, and I've quoted AEI and I've quoted the Manhattan Institute among the different groups that have studied and analyzed what the government knew back in July of 2010. Do you think it's going to be as high as 100 million Americans ultimately that get funneled into this system? How high does it go?
I think you're exactly right. What they want to do is have us end up with a single payer system, which is all Americans. And today, in one of the hearings we did, we looked at the Medicare Advantage program. You're talking about serious cuts to our seniors, limiting their ability. Devin's mentioning one employer and 6,500 individuals that are going to be without health insurance. And I don't think the 100 million estimate is too high at all. I think you're going to see more individuals losing their access to health insurance. And what we see is individuals are having such problems with the exchange. They do not know if they're properly enrolled. They're probably not going to find out until they go to the doctor.
So my next question then, Congresswoman, is there one honest Democrat that is saying, wait a minute, we made promises, those promises aren't being met, we need to reboot this, we need to cut our laws and start over? Is there anybody in the Democratic Party you talk to saying that?
We have had some individuals who have voted with us on some of our replacement and our repeal votes, defunding votes, and we have welcomed that support. And of course, we're hearing from so many individuals that had supported the president originally and for his reelection who have lost trust, and they realize that this is something that is so harmful to jobs, to the economy, and to the access of health care and quality of life.
All right, guys, good to see you. I wish I had more time. We're going to stay on it. We'll watch the hearings closely. Appreciate it.